Welcome back to Two Guys, One Pod.
That's right, the podcast where we talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
Today we're talking about Season 1 of Stranger Things.
All right, so let's start off by just saying spoilers. We will be spoiling a lot of Season 1, so if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's a really good series.
It's awesome.
Highly recommend it.
Phenomenal show. Based in the 80s.
Yeah. So
any nostalgic-looking people, if you're looking for a trip down memory lane.
Definitely. And as we just seen, what did we watch earlier? An Honest Trailer?
Honest Trailer. Screen Junkies.
There's definitely a lot of scenes taken from other movies.
Yes. They rip off a lot of the 80s movies.
And 90s.
And
some 90s films.
Yeah. Even earlier than that, Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws
reference.
70s.
Yeah. But, it's the Duffer Brothers who have worked with Stephen King and I think Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
They? I'm pretty sure they both worked.
I knew that it was a duo pair of creating it.
Yeah, and they was on a lot of Stephen King and Spielberg
films.
Yeah.
Okay, so the series starts off. We've got
4 buddies, 4 friends.
4 buddies, 4 friends.
They're nerds.
Obviously, they're playing some Dungeons and Dragons.
D&D.
Rolling some die out there.
Yeah.
So it starts off like that. Then
it basically starts off. You get a glimpse of the 4 guys playing, and then all of a sudden, Will, one of the boys, goes missing.
Right. Yeah, it's very brief. That's very short, but yeah. So Will, one of the boys, goes missing.
Yeah.
We don't exactly know what happens to him. We follow him back to his house as he's running away from this entity.
This creature.
Yeah. He goes into his.
Well, hold on a second. Let's stop right there. Actually, we start off at Hawkins' lab.
Oh yeah. We
start off at Hawkins' lab. Yeah.
Very brief. You don't know what's going on. You see this doctor running down a hallway. The lights are flickering. This alarm's going off. He goes into his elevator and he's looking down the hallway like he's waiting for something to turn the corner.
Classic scary setup. It opens up.
Yeah.
The series to get you into the. It's not. I don't want to say it's horror. It's mostly mystery, but it has some fearful
elements.
Yeah, horror elements. And the creature claims its first victim. Well, for what we see, its first victim.
From what we know, its first victim.
All right, now jumping back forward to the boys.
Okay, so Will's going home after playing a session of Dungeons and Dragons with his friends. He's riding his bike. They split off as they get to each other's homes. He's the boy apparently that lives the furthest from everybody.
Yeah. So
he goes riding alone. So
he has his run-in
with this creature.
The creature.
Goes back to his house. He
locks the door.
He's the only one home.
Yeah, his older brother and his mom's working.
All right. So he locks the door. He goes back into his house. Then the creature follows him. He goes outside of his house into his garage,
where he gets his 22, I reckon.
Yeah,
I think it's his 22 rifle. And he's prepared for a knockdown drag out.
Yeah, right.
He's ready to take on this beast.
He's gonna blast this beast in the face with a 22 rifle.
Yeah.
So the beast comes up behind him.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is again horror-esque.
Yeah, horror-esque. But at the same time, you're kind of like, well, how did that happen?
Yeah. What the hell's going on?
You know, this looks like just a normal humanoid creature.
Yeah, it's definitely humanoid. It's about 8 feet tall, though. That's
yeah.
It's the arms and legs. It stands upright.
So then all of a sudden,
he vanishes.
Will vanishes. The lights get really bright, and then Will's gone. So that kicks off the mystery. So now we don't know where Will is. It goes on a little bit.
It also kicks off that sick intro.
Sick intro.
Yeah.
That kind of X-Files
Yeah.
stolen intro song.
This show is, I don't want to call it a ripoff because it's a great show. It's too good of a show to call a ripoff.
Too good of a show.
But it definitely references a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
So then we've got this awesome possum intro song here.
Awesome possum. Who says that?
So then what's next?
It basically cuts up to Will's mom.
Will's mom
looking for
him. They think that maybe at first he might have been
went to school early because they're nerds. They're
right?
really smart kids.
And Will apparently is one of the smartest of them all, also being the smallest of them all.
Yeah.
Which plays a factor later on.
Yeah.
So Will goes missing. His other kids, eventually everybody picks up that
he's missing. Yeah.
Everybody's looking for Will. Where's Will? Where's Will? Where's Will?
Yeah.
Right. So then the next thing that happens, I guess, no progress with where Will is, but we meet this other character, right?
Well, we're kind of fast forwarding it. There's a lot of, I guess you call filler, but it's not really filler. It's all interesting.
Some character development.
It's character development. Yeah, that's what it is. Character development. It throws you all the characters basically all at once. You get glimpses of all of them. It cuts to Hopper, the sheriff of the town. I guess he's the sheriff. He's the sheriff. The sheriff's department.
He's the sheriff of the
sheriff.
Yeah. Old Hopper's the sheriff, right? Yeah. So we got Hopper, the sheriff. We've got Will's mom, Will's brother,
his buddies,
Mike,
Dustin, and
Lucas. That's it, right?
Yeah,
there.
Lucas. So we got a glimpse of Nancy too. That'd be Mike's older sister.
Mike's sister.
So
we don't really meet any other. We do meet Mike's parents.
But they're
his younger sister.
They're background characters at best.
Yeah. So we're on the search for Will, right? So nothing's turning up anything.
Well, his friends doesn't know he's missing yet, but they basically do the whole story, right, where they narrow it down to he's finally missing.
Something important happens. Some bullies show up at the school earlier, which play an important part later on.
Yes, later on. We could call these guys background antagonists because they're not even the main antagonists, but they're definitely the kids' bullies.
Kids' bullies, right? Yeah. They're bullying them because they're smarter, they're nerdier, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the reason.
That whole chestnut.
Yeah. Classic 80s kids movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this does a very good job at capturing the 80s.
It really does. Yeah, it does. Neither one of us lived through the 80s.
No,
but
definitely not.
We've seen enough movies.
And stuff to understand. My mother, which I think some of your sisters were 80s.
Yes.
80s
my oldest
people.
sister was an 80s.
So we're definitely in the understanding.
Yeah.
I've seen all the Molly Ringwald movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Get some Breakfast Club up in here.
Breakfast Club. There we go. Classic.
But no, we're looking for Will. Everybody's, high and low for Will. And then we meet another character. We're going to bring her in. 11. Yeah, whenever...
We don't know her name yet. She's
we don't.
The bald little girl.
She's just I thought she was a boy.
At first.
Well, everybody even in the show thought she was a boy. Short hair and hospital gown.
Hospital gown.
Yeah. And she's just wandering around in the woods, and the boys stumble on her while they're looking for Will. No, I'm jumping ahead. Benny.
Oh, Benny.
She stumbles into Benny's
diner.
restaurant, his diner, yeah.
The Benny, man, The such caring guy. He looks like he makes great burgers for one.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he has some tasty treats.
Yeah, exactly. And old Benny, he gets killed. He gets killed because as we find out, he helps 11 out.
He helps her out. She's back there rummaging through his kitchen trying to get some food. He runs her down, and just trying to not trying to help, but he's trying to figure out what's going on. Right. And he realizes this kid needs some help. So the natural good guy he is.
Old Benny, the most
Benny.
Forgotten about character.
He is. I can't believe I remembered his name.
Then these government agents show up pretending to be child services.
Yeah, because he called child services to get the kid.
Right.
And they intercepted the call. They're listening in.
They're listening on everybody's calls from this town.
Yeah, they're hacking everybody's calls.
They're like Apple.
They're like Apple Care. But so they show up, cap Benny, put a bullet in his head, but 11, I think, was in the back of the restaurant. She was in the back. 2
guys tried to intercept her, which
I think she killed them.
Killed them.
And this is when you find out, 11 has some Jedi mind powers. Yeah.
The best mind powers.
Yes.
Which I compared it to earlier, as we learn her backstory later on, to an anime called Elfenlied, which you had never seen before.
Yeah, and the opening scene that you showed me?
Yeah.
It's basically the main protagonist in Elfenlied is just like 11.
Yeah.
Just like
this
11.
Girl that has been created for a weapon.
Got these mind powers that can just do damage.
Right. So, where are we at next? Because I'm still a little fuzzy. Season 2 has aired already, and we're backtracking definitely.
Yeah. She's wandering around the woods, and everybody's got their search parties looking for Will. Well, the boys come on a clue that Mirkwood, the road. Mirkwood. They go down looking for Will, and they find 11. And, they bring her back to Mike's house.
Right, because Mike's house is the hangout, the basement.
Yeah, the basement's, she said something about Will, didn't she?
Yeah,
she mentioned Will, and they didn't recognize this girl. So the fact that she said something about Will, that was a clue they stumbled on, I guess.
Right.
And
which none of the parents, none of the parents want them looking for her.
Yeah, they don't. Looking for Will because he's missing. They don't know what's going on. It's best to keep the kids locked up. It's best to keep them under a closeful eye. I guess you'd say.
Exactly.
So they sneak her into Mike's basement, and the wonderful parents of Mike. They never find her. They seem to be caring and loving, and
seem to be these caring, loving parents,
but they're so blind.
That there's another fucking kid in their basement.
Yeah. So she's hanging out down there, and she don't know much other than what her social skills are
shot because she's grew up in this facility, and as we learn, was taken from her mother as a newborn baby.
We're spilling into season 2, I think, more of. No, that's season 1. That's season 1. Yeah, that's right. We'll get a little bit more into 11's backstory into season 2.
Right.
But she's a mystery most of season 1.
We know that she's this poor girl who has been subjected to all these tests and stuff, and finally has triggered something in the human mind to have her abilities to, fucking be Jedi or something.
Yeah, the Force is strong with her.
The Force is definitely strong with her.
So they're holding 11 down there, and Mike, I think, right away has a connection with 11. So we move on from that. Everybody's still looking for Will. Well, the government not the government, the scientist at Hawkins Lab fake Will's death.
Right.
Yeah, they they build a fake Will body and don't let nobody near it, like the regular coroners. They bring in special people and basically put up a whole fake death of Will.
Right. So I also want to point out first, old Hopper. He's about to knock some heads.
He is, yeah. Hopper is just a big bully. Hopper is probably my favorite character. He is a true detective.
Just an old country sheriff.
Yeah, just an old country sheriff.
But goddamn,
got a nose for the law.
Yeah, but he can get to the bottom of a fucking government conspiracy real kinds of quick.
He does. That he does. Nothing smells right. Everybody. Will's mom doesn't buy it at all.
Right. Which at this point, Will is speaking to his mother.
Yeah, through the lights.
Through lights, and she goes and buys all these Christmas lights
and hangs them up. And I'm gonna rip off Screen Junkies. She gets really into arts and crafts.
We got all these lights hung around, as well as phones.
Phones too, yes.
He tried to speak to her through the phone, and it blew up. Or something.
And we still don't even know where he's at. Like we're getting an idea, like he's around, but nobody can see him.
Either he's a ghost, or at this point, altered in dimension.
Maybe you could say that. So, moving on from there, Will's mom is basically the only one, plus the boys, because with Eleven's help, Mike doesn't believe that Will is dead, because 11 says she's seen that,
And then she can take that radio and tune in.
Yeah, that's how she proved. That's how she proved to Mike that. Yeah, because Mike got really upset with her whenever they pulled the body out of the quarry.
Right.
And so she gets on his radio that he uses to talk with his friends, and she tunes in to where Will's at, and they listen in, and he's singing a song, one of his favorite songs that his brother got him.
Right.
Listening to.
Should I stay or should
I stay or should I go? Yeah.
Right. Classic punk there.
Yes.
So, it's all this emotional turmoil with
it is.
The rider, Will's mom.
They weave drama, mystery, horror, all that into one, and they do it so great.
Perfect show.
It is. It's a great show. It's the best show on TV right now, I think.
Well, it's not on TV, but yeah,
well,
it's on
best TV show. Series. You should say.
Right,
it's a Netflix original.
And as in, who's the guy that does F is for Family?
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr would say, we spend a year making this show,
and we binge watch it in 2 days.
Yeah.
Well, it's their own fault for making such a good show. It's phenomenal. Can't say anything bad about it.
This is a great show. We're so far up into the point in the series. You're hooked.
Yes.
You're hanging in because you're like, what's going on? They found Will's body. You don't know that the body's staged yet at this point.
Yeah. You're thinking, well, there's question marks. There's question marks. Will's mom's talking to him. We heard him.
Right.
As viewers, hear him.
Seeing his body, you're like, well, maybe he's talking to her as a ghost or something.
It's a ghost. Yeah.
Some kind of craziness, but it's not. So it boils down to the fact that Will is somewhere. We don't know where.
Yeah.
We found a body. 11's a connection. With 11 being connection, you can pretty much tie up that it's Hawkins Lab doing something.
Yeah, Hawkins Lab's behind all this.
They're trying to do something.
Which nobody in this town questions this big giant
corporation. Once
that's
again,
just heavily guarded by military police.
Who works there?
Yeah.
Who?
But there's an interesting little tidbit. There's this Hawkins lab was based on a lab in upstate New York, I think, in the actual 80s. It was very secretive. It was the Cold War. They was trying to stay ahead of the Russians.
All right, doing a bunch of stuff. And
Yeah,
stuff like
that's an actual thing in real life.
Probably
it's based on
as Papa probably hired, which in my opinion, this is what Papa's character is based off of, was a Nazi scientist that was brought
over, yeah.
Which did happen.
Yeah.
Operation Paperclip, you know.
Yes.
So
so this now, granted, this is very much a fiction show.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's loosely they loosely base it on the Cold War.
Right. Well, it's the 80s, so
it's
the Cold
80s.
War it's still going on. Everybody's scared that the Russians are coming.
Yeah, we got to stay ahead of the Russians.
But this does a great job at capturing those 80 mystery horror movies.
It does. It does.
At the same time, and also, what's approaching? It's fall, Halloweenish time of year. You know.
Yeah. It's another. I know the second season's definitely Halloweenish because they do a.
Well, this one is too, because at the end of the season, it ties up into Christmas.
Yeah, so it's definitely the fall. Maybe November. You'd say
right around
probably November,
late October, earlier November.
Yeah,
and strands into November, December.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it runs into December because it does a jump like 6 weeks later. After everything. But anyways, so this is fall time, and I think it's Indiana.
Yeah, we're in Indiana, I believe.
So and there is Michael Myers references through this.
Michael Myers references,
and that was in Illinois, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think that was in Illinois. Not Springfield, but
Springfield.
No, that's
Springfield. It's a Simpsons thing, I think.
But anyways, there's all kinds of 80 references. Great show, well put together. If you're into mystery, horror. I'd say that it's mostly hit mystery.
It's definitely mostly mystery. It's not really horror. It's
family friendly. I mean, they do say some curse words, but
it's family friendly. As you found,
my daughter loves it. She's probably
a
bigger fan than either one of us.
Definitely, probably true.
She's drew up all kinds of pictures and.
This is very good. I've seen her.
Yeah,
it looks like she's a twisted kid.
These kids, yeah. No, she's very normal. She's into weird. She's into the stranger things in life. No, these are middle school based kids.
Let's talk about let's take a break from talking about the show and talk about how we discovered the show. So this show come to me. I was out of work, laying around, wanting to watch something, and so Netflix, I seen Stranger Things, and I was like, whatever, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, because man, you're not big into the social media. YouTube's about as big as we go.
Get, and we stick to a niche thing.
Yes.
And so I was like, okay, whatever, I'll give it a shot. I just seen it on Netflix. I was like, sure, looks interesting, right? So I start watching it, and immediately after episode 1, I'm hooked. I'm drawn in.
That's exactly what happened to me.
My wife comes home. She was like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "This is Stranger Things.
It's awesome. Sit down and watch it.
It's awesome. Sit down and watch it. I'll explain to you whenever it's in between episodes what's going on."
That's kind of how I set it up. You're the one who led me down this rabbit hole.
Like, I got to get this to everybody.
Yes. And that's basically what we're trying to do now is if you haven't seen Stranger Things, watch it. But my buddy here, Chris, he's like, you got to watch Stranger Things because I was talking about I had seen It, the remake of It.
Right. And you come around season 2.
Yes. Right. Well, it was right before season 2. I binge watched season 1 and basically had to wait like 2 or 3 weeks. No, I think I finished it.
I got this as soon. I watched this as soon as it, not as soon as it come out, but it had only been out for like a week. Whenever I started watching Stranger Things,
yes,
season 1, and so I had to wait a whole fucking year.
Yes,
and I'm gonna have to wait a whole another fucking year for season 3.
Yes, it's awful. The wait is terrible. It's a great show.
Yeah.
You just want to keep watching it.
But as a person that's not seen a new It movie, how would you say that Stranger Things compares to the new It?
I tell you what, other than the extreme curse language
And It, yeah,
it's a very easy comparison to the movie. As a matter of fact, there's a reference that Bob makes in season 2. Spoilers for the next episode of our podcast.
Right.
But Bob references a clown.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he's from the Maine area. He's from Maine. It's definitely a reference to Stephen King's It.
Oh God, it's such a reference.
It is. The clown's name.
I never correlated.
The clown's name is different than Pennywise. It's like Mr. Bojangles or something like that.
Something weird and generic.
Yeah, it's a generic name for Pennywise. But yeah, it's if you like Stephen King's It, if you've seen it as a child, if you have not seen the remake, that's a must watch. And Stranger Things is right up that alley.
Oh yeah, Stranger Things is a must.
But more family friendly.
Family friendly than It. Like you said,
As a matter of fact, one of the boys, Mike from Stranger Things, was one of the kids in the Losers Club on the remake.
You told me that. Yeah.
He is. I can't remember his name. It was the funny kid.
Right.
The one that Seth Green played back in the day.
Right. Yeah.
Seth Green's character. He was the same person. I can't remember his name, but either way, back to Stranger Things.
So we're at where Will's body is just found.
Yeah.
Right.
Will's body's been discovered, and his mom she's just in disbelief. That's not even the right word. She refuses to believe that's him. Disbelief is just.
She's got that mother intuition.
Yeah, that mother intuition really kicks in, mostly because she spoke to him. She knows something along the lines of stranger things are happening. So going on from there, she's telling everybody that that's not Will.
It's not Will.
I believe, to quote her, she said, "I don't know what that thing is, but that's not my boy."
Right. And so Will's brother gets mad because he wants this whole ordeal to just be over with. He thinks that it's his brother.
Yeah, he thinks it's not that he wants it to be over with. It's just he thinks his mom's holding on to something that's not there.
Right there.
Yeah.
So
he's a good big brother.
Yeah, everybody's talking in the town, saying that this is what are they saying? Like Will's mom's crazy.
Yeah.
She's
nut. They have a whole scene, her and Jonathan, which is Will's brother, Jonathan, and Winona Ryder. Not Nancy. What's the mom's name? I don't know. Anyways, Will's mom.
Will's mom. That's
Winona Ryder, played by
Ryder. Yeah.
And she's not a stranger to weird casting roles. Beetlejuice,
as we know from her '80s films.
Beetlejuice, yeah, she played the girl who had a run-in with Beetlejuice.
Right.
But anyways, so her and Jonathan have this big scene in the middle of town where they're arguing over Will's funeral, and she's not having none of it, and he's on the other end of the spectrum, saying he's not letting his brother sit in the coroner's office. He's going to give him a proper burial.
Right.
Moving on from there, Hopper, and I'm guessing they had him and Will's mom, Hopper and Will's mom had a history. They may have been dating in high school.
Lovers at some point?
I don't know. It kind of leads that away.
I think that they definitely had sex.
They definitely may have been high school sweethearts.
Oh, no. That's not even the thing.
Anyways, so she starts telling Hopper, and being the true detective Hopper is, he gets to the bottom of it. by knocking out everybody in town and breaking into basically just going above the law. Sheriff of the town, you know.
Yeah, so here's Hopper, the guy that breaks laws to solve mysteries,
To
right?
solve mysteries. True detective.
Which is a horrible. He's really not that good of a sheriff because he's never in his office.
No. But he's out doing his job. He's
Yeah.
a great sheriff, I think. He's one of my favorite characters.
So here we are, Hopper.
He's getting
fences,
to
getting down to the
kicking down doors, knocking out everybody.
Hopper's getting down to the nitty gritty. So the next thing that we find Hopper doing is he
breaks into the corners.
Breaks into the corner, socks a guard.
Yeah, knocks out a guard. One of the many he knocks out.
Takes a knife and cuts open this little boy's body. Now we're like, oh God, it's gonna get gruesome.
Yeah, but what he
turns
pulls out
out
is stuffing.
It's a fucking fake. It's a doll.
Yep.
It's not even a person.
So now we got Hopper, Will's mom, and Mike all believing that Will's still out there somewhere.
Still out there. 11, of course.
And they're all doing their own thing.
Right.
Like
trying to come together to find this boy.
Well, actually, they're not even coming together. The boys don't even... 11 stays a mystery to everybody until later on in the season.
At the very end.
Yeah. And so now we're looking
for Will.
Still looking for Will.
Still looking for him. We know that Will's still alive, as we've seen Hopper cope in the fake body. Hopper knows.
Will's mom
knows.
And the boys.
Their houses are being tapped at this point.
Yes. Well, I think they're all being tapped.
Everybody's being tapped. The shady government business is going down. They're trying to get rid of everybody who
knows something.
Right.
I think we completely just blew past Barbara. We got to that part yet? Nancy's friend.
Have we blew past it? I don't think we blew past it yet.
From what I hear, Barbara's a big fan favorite. I mean,
even though she got very limited screen time.
She did.
And is one of the
She was the voice of reason for Nancy.
Yeah.
And
so
I'm not sure why she got such a big fandom.
I'm not sure either. I
mean, I get it because
Barb.
I feel more bad for Benny than I do Barb.
Right, because Benny was just trying to be a good guy, and Barb was too. Barb was trying to be a good friend, and did exactly what Nancy asked her to do.
Yes.
Nancy, told her, hang out with me, be sure I don't, do anything stupid.
We have not even mentioned Steve Harrington.
Oh my God, Steve Harrington
is the coolest '80s stereotype there ever was.
He's a good athlete. He's good looking with the ladies.
He's got the sweet '80s hairdo.
Sweet '80s hairdo. Which we find out how he gets that hairdo later on.
Hilarious.
Season 2.
It's hilarious. But anyway, Steve is Nancy's love interest, I guess you say. She's
is it Nancy's love interest or Steve's love interest? Because Steve asked Nancy out.
Yeah. Well, they have a thing for each other.
Well, definitely. With Jonathan, though, on the other hand, Will's brother,
he also has a thing for Nancy.
So we're going
round and round in this love triangle.
Yeah, this love triangle here. So
that dips more into season 2 right now.
Steve's he's that good sports kid, but
got it all.
Yeah,
he's the guy that's got it all.
He's the guy that's got it all. But he's also that guy that is pulling Nancy, out of school and they're making out in bathrooms, which is weird.
Yeah, he's the typical '80s jock
with the blue jean jacket, cool hairdo, smooth talking motherfucker.
He starts off on the wrong side, but he does a complete 180 and he becomes a good guy. He's got a good heart, you could say. But he's just, like I said, he's the popular guy.
He's
And
a
he gets
popular
mixed
guy,
up into all that.
and he's not sure how to approach that and or pick his friends, you know.
Yeah.
And so, so
let's go back to Nancy and
Steve get together. Then
they're having a little get together at Steve's
house. There's a pool involved.
Yeah, there's a pool.
Party. Nancy gets pushed in with her clothes on. All a big ploy to get,
Yeah, it's just a big ploy
to get at Nancy there.
Yeah, to get at Nancy. And Barb sees it coming a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
Tries to tell her what's going on. Nancy didn't want to hear none of it.
Right. Barb sees it. Barb's trying to be a good friend. She's like, Nancy, don't do this. You're making a mistake. You know what I'm saying?
Which comes to find out, I love Steve.
Right.
In my eyes, it wasn't a mistake.
They're drinking beer.
Yeah.
They're chilling out. Go upstairs because Nancy gets cold, so Steve takes her upstairs
to get her some dry clothes. Barb tries to stop it,
which is very weird, because like I always thought, I was like, why would you go get the girl dry clothes? You just keep girl clothes at your house?
I'm pretty sure she just put on some of his clothes. But anyways, so Barb and Nancy have a little tussle. Barb goes outside. Jonathan, Will's brother, is out looking for Will. He stumbles onto this little party, and he's taking pictures and just, basically being a creep.
I don't think he's being a creep.
He's not being a creep because he's
a photographer.
He's a photographer, but what he did was it's not borderline creep. It's creep.
It's not creep. You just don't understand. It's sweet. All right, he
took a picture of Nancy taking her clothes off. That's creep.
You don't even know what you were thinking.
No, he's a good guy. He didn't mean anything by it, but his actions were still the actions of a creep.
Okay.
Now, moving on from there, he's taking a picture of Barb. He drops something. Barb disappears.
And then he looks back up. Barb's gone.
And
now we know what happened.
Yeah, Barb falls into the pool. But there's like no water in the pool, and it's all deathly looking. And this is, I think, the first time we see the upside down. Is it?
It might be the first time we see the upside
down. And
we know Barb is now entered into another dimension.
She's definitely in another dimension.
Because we can't see her at all. She's completely gone from this world.
But everything that she sees is just like the real world, but despair and just super gothic.
And despair.
Death and despair. So, and she hears the creature.
Right.
Which by now has the name Demogorgon.
Right. As the boys were playing the Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
And that was their creature they were fighting.
Yes.
This is the creature that they have now nicknamed the Demogorgon.
And it is known as the Demogorgon from here on out.
From here on out.
So we'll be referring to the creature as Demogorgon.
Okay, so the creature he's got Barb. Things go on. Things escalate between Nancy, Steve,
and basically Barb ends up dead. The Demogorgon gets her.
We don't know that yet.
Yeah, we don't know that yet. She disappears, and if you know anything from anything, shows like The Walking Dead, if you don't see them die, then you can't expect they're dead.
Exactly.
So,
as we've seen with The Walking Dead. Another topic for another time.
Yes.
I hate that show.
I love that show. Absolutely love that show. But anyways, so she just something gruesome happened. It's kind of hard to not think that she's dead, but she goes missing as well.
Right.
So now we're looking. Actually, everybody thinks Will's dead. Now Barbara's missing.
So it's this big mystery.
The Hawkins lab covers it up like she ran away.
Right.
But Nancy knows that she did.
Nancy knows she didn't. Nancy knows that Barb wouldn't do that. And then starts blaming herself, which, in my opinion, is her fault.
It is her fault. Nancy's the true villain.
Yeah. Hawkins Lab's just doing their thing.
Yeah.
Nancy's the one that's fucking shit up.
Nancy's the real bad guy. So
So now Nancy's on the hunt for Barb.
Yes.
And
her and
Jonathan team up.
Yes. And we're going to cut back to Will's mom when she sees the Demogorgon. I think she may have seen the Demogorgon first.
Right.
Because he come through the wall.
Because he come through the wall.
Yeah. And that happened before Barb's incident.
Right. So Will's mom knows, Hopper knows, Nancy's got a suspicion, Jonathan's got a suspicion.
Well, Jonathan doesn't have a suspicion yet. He thinks his mom's crazy. He doesn't get his suspicions until he hears almost the exact same story from Nancy. Because Nancy goes looking for Barb, sees the Demogorgon in the woods.
It chases her.
It chases her. She didn't know how to describe it. The cops said she thinks that she probably saw a bear.
Yeah, a bear.
And
Indiana, which I'm pretty sure is not a thing.
Yeah. She got a good look, and she seen that it didn't have a face.
Right. She knows what it is. Well, she doesn't know what it is, but she knows it's definitely not a bear.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bear, and it's definitely not a human.
Exactly.
And that's basically the same thing Will's mom, what she said. So Jonathan is like the glue between that. Comes to find out he finds out his mom's not crazy because Nancy seen the same thing. So him and Nancy go on a hunt for the Demogorgon.
Right. So they're hunting in the woods. Nancy's a natural shot.
Yeah.
With the stolen pistol that they
stole from his dad.
Who's a total jackass.
Yes.
Only come around when Will died, thinking he was going to get
some money. He was going to sue the family that owned the quarry.
Yeah, he's going to sue the quarry people.
And just basically cash in on his son's death.
Right, because his dad's just a teetotal piece of shit.
He is. And basically we just get glimpses of him. And once Will's mom finds out his scheme, she runs him out, and we don't see him no more. But before she runs him out, Jonathan gets a hold of his, was it 38?
Old Smith & Wesson Model 10 38 revolver.
Oh, yes. Gun guy. Gets a hold of his 38 in his glove box at the funeral, I think. He steals the gun.
He knows that's not Will, man. He knows it's not.
Yeah, at this point, Jonathan's on board, and he knows it's not Will.
Hopper knows it's not. The dad coming back has convinced Will's mom at this point that it might be her son. It might be time to let go.
I don't know that he convinced her, but either way. So they get the gun, and they go on the Demogorgon hunt.
Which they go in at some point. They go
to the woods and see a deer.
It gets dragged off.
Yeah.
After they were going to put it out of its misery.
And somehow Nancy, she finds a rip.
Yeah.
She finds a rip.
A rip in the time.
Space-time continuum.
Yeah. Jonathan's looking for Nancy at this point, but her and the Demogorgon now are in the same place.
Yeah, she gets into the Upside Down. And it's called the Upside Down because that's what 11 named it. And I'm pretty sure 11 created.
She did not name it the Upside Down. She tore the opening.
I'm pretty sure she created it.
Yeah, but she didn't name it the Upside Down because if you remember,
the boys called it. The boys called it.
The boys called it They said it's like the Upside Down because the teacher. That's helping
that's right.
Gentleman out.
Well, either way, I'm pretty sure that 11 created the Upside Down. I know she created the doorway. The big doorway.
Yeah. She created the opening.
It's just a thought of mine with her special mind powers that she created it. But anyways, so Nancy's slipped into the Upside Down. She's been inside. I'm pretty sure she's the first one outside of maybe 11.
Outside of the 11, possibly.
To go into the Upside Down, other than Will. Will's trapped.
Guys are going in at this point, but they're getting murdered.
Yeah, every time they go in, they're getting murdered. So Nancy gets in and makes her way out. Jonathan helps her out. They have their little moment
Yes.
back at her house, and
They have
let's
their moment, which is you're like, just kiss already, just fucking kiss already.
yes, yeah.
They don't, but they don't.
They don't. But Steve. Oh, speaking of the moment, Steve goes to see. He goes to see Nancy because she blew him off, and he goes and climbs up through her window, sees Jonathan. Just
with Nancy,
being there for Nancy,
because they're both pretty traumatized. They both
yes
seen things now at this point.
Yes.
They don't understand. They don't know how to defeat it. They don't know what's going on.
Steve sees this, gets super jelly. He gets mad, and him and his buddy and her girlfriend just say mean things. They say mean things about Nancy.
They say they call her name. They call her whore and stuff.
Slut. Yeah. They put something on they spray painted something on the movie theater.
Yeah, about her being a slut.
Yeah.
Which then they go confront at this point. Right?
Yeah, Nancy's going to confront Steve about it. She runs him down an alley. Steve and Jonathan get in a fight, and Jonathan wins that fight. You don't think that Jonathan's gonna win because he's the quiet boy and Steve's the jock, and
right.
Jonathan works him over.
Jonathan's got some must to him, man. So this point,
he's detained. Hopper and Jonathan and Will's mom are out looking for Will, and they stumble on Eleven's mom.
Right,
and
they're starting to uncover a mystery.
Yeah, a mystery within a mystery.
Right.
It's like at this point, it's like the movie Inception. Dream within a dream within a dream. It's a mystery within a mystery within a mystery.
Right. So we're starting to learn more about 11, even with the boy's development at this point.
Yes.
She's got these mind powers. They know this. They're trying to hide her. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that.
Yes.
She keeps saying the bad men are looking for her.
Yes. They haven't ran into the bad men yet. They go on their own little adventure.
They go down these train tracks.
No. We're jumping. Wait. They're going to look for Will. They're going to look for the doorway. They're trying to get into the doorway. She's messing with the magnets. There's a big knockdown drag out between Lucas and Mike.
Right.
She's right in the middle of it. Lucas doesn't trust her nor likes her. And Mike, he has a connection with her. He likes 11. He's got that boyhood crush on her.
So
they get into a little wrestling match, and 11 blows Lucas back. There's a whole conflict there between Lucas and Mike. Let's see. Something happens, and Mike gets mad at 11, and she's wandering around the woods. What happened?
Because she knocked Lucas down with her mind power. She knocked him out.
Yeah, but Mike was defending her.
Not after she did that.
Yeah, I think he was.
He finds out that she's been messing with the magnets.
Yeah, he finds out she's messing with the magnets to keep them away. And he gets mad. She gets separated, wanders around in the woods again. Mike and Lucas are at each other's necks. Lucas don't want no help from 11, which they need.
Right.
Because she's the most powerful person in this show.
Oh, yes, definitely. So, things ensue. Everything goes on. 11 doesn't come back. That's the thing. Mike sags 11's not back. She hasn't returned home.
Yeah.
So to speak. They go a couple days without seeing her.
Yeah, she's wandering around the woods. She's all dirty. she goes into town. She gets hungry, goes in to steal some Eggos. Goes back out in the woods to eat them.
Yeah. Eat fucking frozen Eggos out in the woods.
Yeah.
So then
Dustin and Mike go looking for her.
Yeah.
They run into the bullies, which we skipped over. 11 made one of the bullies pee himself.
Right, because he was being a total jerk.
Yeah, being a total jerk.
So she mind controlled his ass, made him piss himself.
Yeah, embarrassed him in front of the whole school. So Mike and Dustin are looking for 11. They run into the bullies, and they start running from them. They end up at the top of the quarry. The bully gets a hold of Dustin, threatens to cut his teeth out with his pocket knife.
Yeah, he's going to work on Dustin with the pocket knife.
Unless Mike jumps off the cliff.
Yeah.
And Mike, being the awesome friend that he is, he jumps off the freaking cliff into the quarry. But as he's falling, he gets about halfway down, and 11 catches him with her mind powers.
Brings him back up.
Everybody's freaking out because nobody knows what's going on. I mean, Mike knows what's going on, I guess, at this point. Cause
scares the bullies.
Yes. She breaks the bully's arm. We ended up buying my daughter a pop socket. Here's a little side story. It's a pop socket. You know what they are? They go on the back of your phone. It's like a little stand. It just pops out. It's an Eggo waffle, and it says, "She's our friend, and she's crazy." And that's quoted directly from Stranger Things. She loves it. She was super stoked. She got that for Christmas.
Cool gift.
Yeah. But anyways, 11 comes up, breaks one of them's arm, knocks the other one back. They take off running scared. Dustin yells out that quote, "She's our friend and she's crazy." And they have a big hugging friend moment.
Right.
They come together.
Come together.
Yeah. And so it's basically just everybody's on their own little side quest to find Will, to get to the bottom of it.
Quest to find Will, get to the bottom of this.
If they all come together a lot earlier,
they might have been covered.
They would have got this done a lot quicker. If they all knew that, because they all find out their own little things,
right?
And they're all heading in the right direction, but they don't know what the others know. Yeah. Hopper doesn't know what the boys know. Nancy and Jonathan don't know what either one of them knows. They're all working down this road into uncovering the mystery, and they all find out their own little things.
So it all comes back to one point, and that is Hawkins' lab.
Hawkins' lab, yes.
So at some point, they break into Hawkins' lab.
Hopper does. Hopper breaks in. Hopper breaks in twice. The second time being very close to the finale, and it's part of his big plan because he's a big brainiac himself. But the first time he breaks in, I think he's trying to look for Will, but he knows that there's another. He knows that they keep kids, that they have kids in captivity, basically.
Yeah.
Because he breaks in and finds 11's room. So let's see. I feel like we're leaving something big out. I
feel like we are too. But to wrap it up, we've got Will and the boys looking for, the boys looking for Will.
Boys are still looking for Will.
And 11's with them.
Yeah, 11's with them.
Hopper and his mom
are still looking.
And
Hopper's trying to figure out who that other child is.
Right.
He
knows it's not Will.
He knows that and he went and talked to her mom. So her mother, actually her aunt, because her mother
is batshit crazy.
Yeah.
At this point, because
which we get her backstory in season 2 as well.
We know why she's batshit crazy.
Yeah. We're not going to dip into that. So
Hopper is is finding out his stuff and his mom. And then Nancy and Jonathan are doing their own thing, finding out their stuff.
They're trying to catch and kill this Demogorgon because they know it's directly tied to Will and Barb. And that's, well, Barb's Nancy's best friend and Will is Jonathan's little brother. So they're teamed up to take down the Demogorgon. So they figure out, Nancy and Jonathan, and again, they all figure out their own little things. Nancy and Jonathan figure out that it is attracted to blood like a shark.
Right.
Because she does her own research, and she finds out that, that the Demogorgon could smell blood, and it comes out to hunt. So they come up with a plan.
Right. They're going to get this Demogorgon out.
Yeah, they're going to pull the Demogorgon into their dimension.
Right.
And trap it and try to kill it.
Right.
So they get their bear traps. And
they set all this stuff up in Jonathan's house?
Yes, in Jonathan's house. Steve stumbles on this is after the big fight between him and Jonathan.
Right.
He's coming over to apologize. This is when he's had his epiphany or moment of clarity, and he just wants, Nancy to be happy, I guess. And he shows up, and
they're telling him
to leave.
You got to go.
You got to get out of here.
Yeah.
He's like, what? I'm just trying to apologize.
Yeah.
And at some point, the way they're acting, telling him to leave, he thinks that, Jonathan's hurting Nancy or something. She's roughed up from the Demogorgon
thing.
And she's telling him he's got to go. He thinks Jonathan's doing something to her. He loves Nancy, so he's not having it. He busts in right into the middle of it. Demogorgon shows up.
Yeah.
In the house.
So he now understands.
He understands that some stranger things are happening. And basically, this Demogorgon just is unkillable. And he's just agile, quick, dodging bullets, taking bullets.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he slows down and Steve works him over with a bat.
Works him over with a good old bat. A good old batting. A good old batting is what Steve works him over with.
And so now Steve's just thrusted into the whole mix. He had nothing, he was just basically a side character. Now
he had no idea.
Thrust into it. He has no idea what's going on.
He's just thrown into the mix. Now all of a sudden you got these guys all now in the mix. So now everybody knows what's going on pretty much. Yes. And we're gonna get Will back is the thing. We're gonna kill this fucking Demogorgon.
Yes.
Right.
So they do I don't want to call it successful, but they definitely worked that Demogorgon over.
Oh yeah, that Demogorgon's not.
They caught him on fire, caught him in a bear trap, beat him up with a bat.
Oh yeah,
all this in one fell swoop.
One fell swoop. This Demogorgon's going down.
Yeah, but it didn't go down actually.
No.
He comes back for more.
He comes back.
But at this point, they all come together.
Yes.
The boys, 11, Jonathan, Nancy, Hopper, Steve, and Will's mom. Will and Jonathan's mom. So they go. Oh no, they have to get some information from the teacher about how they can get 11, they get the salt water. I can't remember exactly why and how that sets up, but they asked.
Jonathan, Nancy, and all of them, they go to the school, set her up in a pool.
Yes.
With salt water.
Salt water, yes. Okay. So she can tap into the other dimension and
find Will.
Find where Will's at.
Hopper and Will's mom.
This is when she goes under in the pool is when they find out that Barb is dead.
Yes.
And Nancy finds out Barb's dead, but Will's still alive. Which I never really quite understood how Will survived that long. They didn't.
He hit, didn't he?
He hit. Oh yeah, that's right. He was the kid that was good at hiding.
Yeah.
He was always good at hiding. That's what they make that a point. I guess he just basically hid in the Upside Down from the Demogorgon.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
The Demogorgon also kept leaving too to go get fresh kills.
Yes. And so at this point, they find Will, but they can't get to him, obviously, because somebody has to actually physically go in.
Yeah.
And 11 was just going in with her mind.
With her mind. She can't grab Will.
She couldn't grab Will and pull him out. But they located him. And so at this point, not Nancy, but Joyce. Joyce is her name. Will's mom's name is Joyce.
Joyce Breyer.
Joyce and Hopper leave, and this is the second time he breaks into Hawkins' lab, but they get caught like right in the yard. Like they get caught in the yard.
Yeah.
This is all Hopper's plan. And
he meant to get caught. He's going to tell them
that he knows he'll expose, and unless they
let him go get Will.
Yeah.
If they let him go get Will, he'll shut up about it.
He'll keep it under wraps.
And then they need to get the fuck out of his town.
Him and Joyce go into the Upside Down through the portal under Hawkins' lab, and they go get Will, or they're on their hunt for Will.
Right.
And the bad men show up to the school while they're not there.
Right. To get 11.
Yeah, because they're on their whole. Yeah, actually, Hopper made a deal that he would give up 11
for Will.
And so the bad men are at the school to get 11, but the Demogorgon, I can't remember exactly how the Demogorgon gets in the mix, but the Demogorgon comes out.
Yeah. Demogorgon comes out, fucks up the bad.
Oh, wait, it's because he smells blood, I think, and 11, like, blew up all their, not just her nose bleeding, but she blew up all those people's heads, like that bad woman.
Yeah.
That posed to be child services. She blew up her head. She killed like 12 people.
Stuff.
Yeah, yes. Elfenlied stuff, and kills like 12 people in a hallway. And I guess the Demogorgon smelled that, showed up, and started working over all these military police.
Yeah, all these other guys.
Yeah, and so they get back into a classroom, and all this time, Joyce and Hopper are searching for Will. They find him, and at the same time, it keeps cutting back and forth from them finding Will and the bad men trying to get 11.
And the Demogorgon also on the hunt.
And the Demogorgon's just out prowling and basically picking off all these military police. And he busts in the classroom, and it's just all dramatic, cutting between them finding Will, and he's not breathing, and Hopper basically saves his life.
Yeah.
And the Demogorgon pops in to the classroom, and 11 saves the boy's life.
Yeah, 11 saves
the boy's life.
Yeah.
And
she pins the Demogorgon against the wall.
Yes.
And is just fucking him up, breaking every bone in this thing's body.
And basically, she got sucked into the Upside Down.
Yeah.
Because of what she did to the Demogorgon. Like all that stuff happening. And she gets sucked into the Upside Down. Actually, it leaves you not knowing what happens.
What happens to her.
Yeah.
So Will's okay. Will's alive. 6 weeks later passed. All this stuff's happened. We show up at Christmas.
Jonathan comes to pick up Will because Joyce.
They're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons again, and Jonathan comes to pick up Will because they're not letting him ride home on his bike no more.
Right. Nancy
gives Jonathan
a
Christmas present, which is a camera, which we blew past that.
Right.
Steve broke
his camera.
Jonathan's camera.
A creep, as you said he was.
He was. He was
definitely not a creep.
He's not a creep, but he was being a creep.
He wasn't being a creep either.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
All right. The point is that, all right.
It all comes together, and it all looks fine. And we're sitting down at dinner, Christmas dinner with Will. And he goes to the bathroom.
Right.
And he hawks up a big loogie slug.
And we're like, oh shit.
What's happening?
Right.
It's not over.
Also blew past one thing. Hopper leaves Eggos.
Yes.
In a box.
Yes, this is all at the end. He knows that Eleven's still out there. He wants to help her.
He doesn't give her up to this shady secret organization.
He's trying to find her. So that's where we are left with 11.
Yes.
The boys, they're all back to normal, except for Will. And how we're left with Will, Joyce, and Jonathan is he's hawking up a slug.
And so that ties it all together. We're tied up. And so what did you think about season 1?
It was phenomenal. I can't say anything bad.
I can't say anything bad either. It's a big reference fest. It really is. It's a big, nice little homage to the 80s culture and, all the movies that spawned out of that.
Yes.
Now, I have to say that the cast did a wonderful job working together.
Yes. The boys were phenomenal actors.
Yeah.
Excellent. Hopper, great actor. We all know Winona Ryder. She's probably about the only big name in this show, isn't she? She's the big name.
Probably about the only big name.
I think Mike will probably be an up and coming actor because his work
definitely.
With it and now Stranger Things. I have to say my favorite characters are Dustin, Steve, and Hopper. That's it.
I have to agree, except for the Steve part.
I love Steve.
All right.
Steve's awesome. Steve is awesome. He's them three are like tied for me. Like I can't pick a favorite out of the three of them.
They're excellent. Excellent cast works together. I've seen a lot of stuff in here that reference other movies. I enjoyed it still thoroughly. It took, like you said, a good thing of horror, mystery, drama.
It all weaves in.
Threw it all in the perfect little pot and mixed just enough to this tasty treat of a show.
Yes.
And if you watch it, you'll be hooked. You'll binge it all the way through.
Yes. Like I said, my daughter is 9 years old, and she loves this show.
Oh yeah, it's good for
good for family. Good for family.
It's a good family show.
If you got middle schoolers or close to the middle school age, even high schoolers, adults, we're adults.
We're adults.
It's a great show.
Oh, it's a good show. It's a good show. Yeah, that's all for Stranger Things Part one of us. This is a 2-part podcast. We're going to go part 2.
Season 2 on its own podcast.
Yeah, on its own episode here of the 2 Guys One Pod podcast. We want to thank everybody that listens for listening.
Right, thank you guys.
And we will see you guys
next time.
Next podcast. Yeah.
If you haven't watched Stranger Things, be sure to get out there and watch it.
Yeah, get out there and watch the show because, I'm telling you, there's no reason for us to be spoiling anything for you.
If you wanted to watch something funny afterwards, watch Screen Junkies.
Yeah, watch the honest trailers for
Stranger Things.
Yeah. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you on next podcast. Bye.
See ya.